The Super Bowl of diplomacy is now underway in New York City, with world leaders meeting at the United Nations. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is there for the discussions, and our Mackenzie Gray is also in the Big Apple covering it all. So, Mac, what exactly is on the agenda today for the Prime Minister?
The big thing for Justin Trudeau today, Miranda, is going to be about Haiti. He'll be meeting with their transitional prime minister. There's a roundtable as well that Mr. Trudeau will be attending. And obviously Haiti is a large topic of conversation. One of kind of the four big crises that the UN is attempting to deal with, and like most of them, dealing with it quite unsuccessfully at this point in time. Mr. Trudeau has been under a lot of pressure, particularly from the Americans, to send some kind of either police or military force into Haiti to try and stabilize Port-au-Prince and the other regions that have been overrun by gangs. He's really pushed back against that, saying for a number of years now this needs to be a Haitian-led, a Caribbean-led solution to deal with the issues in the region. Now, the Kenyans, who have sent down police into the area to try and stabilize the situation, have discussed the idea of sending troops in, and this will be a large topic of conversation for Justin Trudeau today on the diplomacy front. But once he's done his time at the UN, he's switching things up completely, and he'll be going down to the Ed Sullivan Theatre on Broadway, and he'll be on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert later tonight. So he's trading in the evening his diplomacy for his comedic chops. We'll see how Mr. Trudeau does on late night.
All right, that'll be interesting to see. And Mac, the Prime Minister actually spoke yesterday at a special UN meeting about the future of the institution, which has seen increasing criticism in recent years. What was Trudeau's message about how things should change at the UN?
Yeah, in terms of the UN focus, it's a big summit that Gutierrez, the Secretary General, has put forward, saying, look, recognizing that there needs to be some kind of reforms to deal with the UN. Trudeau's message was we can either put our heads in the sand and ignore global crises or confront them head on. The UN has not been able to confront many of these crises head on. You think about Ukraine, where Russia's a permanent member of the Security Council. You think about what's going on in Gaza right now. The two key things, Haiti as well, Sudan. There are major issues in the world the UN has not been able to effectively deal with. So Trudeau is sending a stern message on that front. But also in these speeches, it's always important to point out that the Prime Minister likes to go into his domestic greatest hits, talking about $10 a day daycare, LGBTQ rights, Indigenous rights, women's rights too. So not only does Mr. Trudeau focus on the international context in these speeches, he's often also bringing up his key domestic priorities in front of a foreign audience.
All right, and back here at home, Mac, the drama in the House of Commons has really dominated the political discourse for the past 2 weeks, with the NDP leaving the supply and confidence deal. How has the shift in Parliament changed the calculus there in New York City?
Well, generally for world leaders, Mr. Trudeau is no exception to it. When they've been around for a while, Mr. Trudeau going on 9 years, he's the senior member of the G7 as an example. You know, they like to show that they're a bit of a foreign statesman. They've been around a while, they know the ins and outs of these situations. So that's why you see particularly prime ministers who kind of get to the point that Mr. Trudeau is at, enjoy these foreign trips, enjoy being able to do these things. But now that Mr. Trudeau is in a true minority parliament situation, don't have the guaranteed support of the NDP, he's always got to have one eye back on what's going on in Parliament in Ottawa. And of course on Wednesday, that's the non-confidence vote that the Conservatives have brought forward. The Liberals very likely to survive that with the support of the NDP and Bloc. But Mr. Trudeau is actually going to leave a little bit earlier than had originally been expected to make sure he's back in Ottawa for that vote. So that's a constant stress that Mr. Trudeau is going to have to be dealing with now. He can't just be focused on what's happening at these summits. He'll have a lot of travel coming in October as well. I expected there's going to be multiple trips that Mr. Trudeau will be on. And he can't just focus on those. He needs to know what's happening back in Ottawa. And parliamentary procedure, we should say, is not Justin Trudeau's favorite topic or favorite issue to deal with, but he's going to have to deal with that now with the new political reality that he faces in the House of Commons.
All right, Mac, as always, thank you very much for the update. We'll chat with you again soon.
Thank you.
That is our Mackenzie Gray joining us from New York City.